Hi, it's Jackie and welcome to another crafty video. Today's project is called the Family is Everything Rustic Layout. I really wanted to work on this layout since the new idea book came out from Close to My Heart. That's where I got the inspiration for it, and I also wanted to do the Barnboard technique in one of my videos, and when I saw this layout I thought it would be perfect. So let's get started. So this is the layout that inspired me to do this project, and it's using the Our Family stamp set, which I absolutely love. I love the way the stamping was along the side. I'm not going to do it exactly the same, but when you see the layout, it's very close. So here's a quick peek at the one side of the layout, and you can see that I've stamped along. I've left our name off it, which is different from the layout, and I've used the Barnboard on the right, well, my right, your left technique. So I did pop a few of the stamping images. I stamped them and then just put them on with some 3D tape. But it says, family is everything, family ties are strong, generations of love, so much love, all of us together. And I have so many pictures of our family together. This will be used up probably by the end of the day. I will have my pictures in place. So let's get started on the Barnboard technique. For doing the Barnboard technique, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. The 2 I chose was the Heather cardstock and the almond cardstock. I really like the kind of wood but contrast of the gray and the beige together. So we're going to get started. I'll start with the almond. And what we're going to need for this, to do this technique, is we're going to need the espresso re-inker and a toothbrush. Now, I'm also going to use some gloves because this is a very inky project, and although I don't mind getting inky, I do have to work tomorrow. So I'm going to put on the gloves and let's get this started. So we're going to fill a tray, well, not fill a tray, we're going to put quite a bit of re-inker into a tray. And we're going to take our toothbrush and rub it along. And now to get the Barnboard effect, we're just going to swipe it along, just back and forth. There are going to be darker spots where you start, so take turns starting one end or the other. And you just go along until you have enough wood grain, I'm using quotations, as you would like. And really work on the sides, get some knots in there. And remember that there is not a wood grain out there that is perfect. So don't worry about, the odd spot. And I like to go back and forth. When I come back, I try not to loop around, just swipe. And you're going to do that with both of your cardstocks. Once both cardstocks are done, you're going to put those aside to dry. You can see there are some wet spots, and you don't want to really cut your cardstock until it's completely dry. You're going to need 2 pieces of linen cardstock. These are through Close to My Heart, so if you're not using Close to My Heart products, any off-white with a gray base cardstock will do. If you're using off-white with kind of a cream or yellow base, it'll work. I just like the gray tones better. You're also going to need one piece of white cardstock cut 6 by 12. The next thing you're going to need is some inks. So on this project, I'll be using the eggplant ink and the sapphire ink. These are my two main colors for this project. I'll also be using the espresso ink, the bashful ink, and the fern ink. And of course, the stamp set I'm using is the Our Family stamp set. You're also going to need some eggplant and some sapphire cardstock. And those will be used for your photo mats. Now that we've given our cardstock a little bit to dry, we're going to cut it. So we're going to cut it at this angle so that the wood grain goes across. And we're going to cut it 4 pieces at 1.5 inch. And you're going to do this with both your heather and your almond cardstock. So 4 pieces at 1.5 inch. And then you're going to cut 6 pieces at 1 inch. Just because you don't want everything too perfect. Now also, this is a little tip for cutting barnboard. I put in a blade that is older and a little dull, and that way it just gives kind of a rough edge to your boards, which, I mean, you don't need to. It's going to look very rustic anyway, but I like to just give it that little edge. So now that you have 4 pieces that are 1.5 by 12, we're going to cut these pieces at 5 inches. And that is going to give you 4 pieces that are 5 by 1.5 and 4 pieces that are 7 by 1.5. You're also going to do this with the 1-inch strips. So cut them all at 5 inches. And then you're going to have 6 pieces that are 1 by 5 and 6 pieces that are 1 by 7. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to take a sponge dauber, dip it into your espresso re-inker, and you're going to just distress every single piece of your barnboard. This is time consuming, yes, but the results are magical. Okay? Once those are all distressed, you're going to want to lay out your pattern. Do not glue anything down until you have your pattern completely laid out. So one page is going to be a complete page of your barnboard. I like to alternate the colors and your seams. So once you have that laid out, then you can go ahead and you can glue that all down and trim off any edges that you might have, and then just go around and distress the very edges. You're also going to, on your white cardstock that measures 6 by 12, do the same thing. So you're going to have half a page of barnboard. Trim off the edges. This one you're going to trim off because there will be overhang. You'll see a couple of these pieces, I glued it down, cut off the edge, took the end and placed it over here, just so that we have enough. We still have a lot left over, but we can make a card with that later. So we want to just use it very wisely. And again, alternating colors and seams. The next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to stamp one side of our linen cardstock. Now the other piece of linen cardstock goes under your full page of Barnboard, but this one we're just going to stamp all our sentiments down the one side. And we're going to go along with Family is Everything in the sapphire. Family ties are strong in the eggplant. I do a few little hearts in the bashful, and so on. I'll show you closer at the end when it's complete. But just do it straight down one side. And when we're done stamping this, we're going to take our 6x12 Barnboard and we're going to attach it onto the linen, and that's going to be our first page. Always when you're stamping, don't forget to put your sponge underneath so that you get a really crisp stamp. Now, like I said, I'm using the Our Family stamp set. This is obviously a family themed layout, but feel free to use any sentiment stamp that you have. It's such a cute technique. And if you just do it in your, 3 or 4 or 5 base colors of your layout, it works out perfectly. And what's also works out perfectly is if you are doing the layout, you already have your pictures, and just stamp based on the clothes that are being worn, just to tie it all together. So the next thing we're going to do is cut out our photo mats. And we're going to start with the eggplant cardstock, and we're going to cut one piece 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And this is going to hold a 5x7 photo. Then we're also going to cut 2 pieces 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. We're going to then work on our sapphire photo mats, and we're going to cut one piece 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 and one piece 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. We're now going to put our layout together. So we've got our stamping done down one side and our Barnboard down the other. We've got our photo mats placed, so 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 and 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Our second page is, like I said, a full Barnboard coverage, and we're going to put our photo mat, which was 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 down, and we also have the sapphire 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 photo mat. But what I used on here was the Into the Wild Picture My Life card. So you buy them in a package like so, and I just took one out. It says I spy adventure ahead, and I stamped on some lines. So this is now my journaling spot. So this is our finished layout. You can see the stamping just all ties together on this side. And I also added little nails on each page using my Le Pen journaling pen. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you'd like to join me for more workshop videos like this one, full of different tips and techniques, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like more information on any of the products used in this video, I'll put the link down below, or you can email me at creativecookie@gmail.com. That's CREATIVECOOKIE@gmail.com. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below or email me. Thanks, and see you next time.